Alright, let me go ahead and tab in. It looks like we are just about to go live. The knife round, that is, not with the pistol. We haven't really missed anything yet. Anyway, I'm D and I'll be your caster for this match, and it will be a best of one with Zoctai facing off against Elements Pro Gaming. Let me go ahead and turn on the volume. Apologies. Cut it off while the music was on. But anyway, the Norwegians up against the Russian lineup, and it will be a best of one on train. I won't really cast this knife round because, well, casting knife rounds is a bit weird. Don't really know what to say. It's just people stabbing each other back and forth. But so we can go ahead and have a discussion in the chat while we're waiting. I will be giving away some promo codes for 1xbet also. I will probably give away the first one about halfway into this half, and then one at half time, and then two in the following half also. I'd say both teams probably looking to take the CT side on this map, and, well, doesn't matter if they both are. Zoctai will take it. Well, they could take T side, but yeah, likely indeed they will swap. There we go. Quality alright? Volume alright? Everyone tell me. No trolls, please. Hopefully we're not waiting too long to get into the pistol round. And just as I said, everyone has readied up, so here we go. We are indeed live into the pistol round now. Over on the CT side so far. 3 players buying up Kevlar. Ratification, he hasn't bought yet. Or Ratifaction, sorry. He hasn't bought yet, so we may possibly see him purchasing the kit. Over on the T side will be 2 players picking up the utility. That's going to be Flash and In Crew, and indeed Ratifaction, he does pick up that kit along with a smoke. Interesting now to see where the T's decide to take this utility. As we can see, they are going to be making their way up through the B halls right now, so we may see a B execute coming in. They also have 2 nades and 2 flashes to work with. They are making their presence known though, making a lot of noise, shooting those windows out, and be interesting to see where they're going to go ahead and take this. Hooch now, the former Gambit player, just going to be spotting out. We'll be able to get a bit of info about the position that Truth was playing, which was back at the coils, but now the T is just making their way out onto the B site. A very passive setup coming in by Zoctai, just looking to go ahead and retake the site. They have the kit to do so. ZTK going to be able to pick up the first kill, drops the player with the bomb, going to be able to pick himself up the headshot. Flash, looking enough, is in a position to trade, and now the T is trying to get aggressive on these afterplants, and not even afterplants yet as the bomb hasn't gone down, but it looks like the CTs, they will be coming out on top of it. ZTK takes himself a second. Halzerk is going to come in and take one of his own, and now it's all down to Flash. 1 versus 3, doesn't have the Kevlar, and he's completely surrounded. Getting chipped away slowly by the USP. As I said, he didn't have that Kevlar, so the aim punch, it was a pretty big factor, and there we go. It will be Zoctai that take themselves the pistol round. Very nice retake setup coming in by them there. Oh, they did retrieve the kit onto ZTK, never mind. The plant, of course, did come in by Elements Pro Gaming, so I think we probably will just see them going for the 1 eco here and getting the AKs into the following round. Perhaps maybe buy a small bit of utility, try and get the bomb down once again, but no, instead it looks like they do just want to upgrade a couple of pistols. 3 P250s, 2 Glocks, and just try and drop as many weapons as they can, cause damage to the economy of Zoctai. And right now it looks like they are going to be going fast towards the B halls and down Pop Dog, just looking to try and catch any of the CTs off guard. Hooch is going to walk out, but no. Ratifaction in position to cover his teammate, takes the first player down, and the HP on the T side slowly being chipped away. Alien over towards A main, just jumping back and forth, slowly losing his own HP, but the Glock can make him out on top of this battle, and it does indeed. Rosie's going to fall. That's an M4 actually dropped. That's a pretty big find there from Elements Pro Gaming. They'd be fairly happy with getting that kill. Of course, though, it is traded back in favour of Zoctai, and with the massive firepower advantage, it's going to get a little bit harder here for EPG to get too much more done. Fly slowly losing HP along with his teammate over on the B site. In Crew falls also, and now it's all onto Flash. 7 HP, 1 versus 3. If he can even pick up 1 more kill here, cause the CTs have to drop an extra weapon over, that would be pretty massive, but I'm not quite sure what his chances are. Could potentially even get the bomb down, as we can see a very passive setup by the CTs, but no. Spot by Halzerk, and there we go. Fairly decent round by Zoctai. Only losing 2 weapons, that won't be the end of the world for them, and now they should be fully buying up now the T's, and indeed they will be. Going to get themselves the 5 AKs. Not going to have that much utility, that's a bit of a problem. They have the 4 smokes, but other than that, flash-wise, and 1 Molotov onto Alien, they are kind of lacking. But then again, when we look at Zoctai, they don't even have the full rifles. They do have Rosie just onto the Mag 7. On this map, though, it's not a terrible weapon. You can bring it up close to Pop Dog over towards B, and it looks like we are just going to see a fast A execute. It is going to be Rosie with that Mag 7 to pick up the first. In Crew will be there to trade and pick himself up a second, and now the A site, it's been opened up. Halzerk, he's the last line of defense, and he is smoked off right now, but as I said, at Ratifaction, I didn't notice he was up in heaven. Gets the bomb carrier down, gets himself a second, and right now, it's been shut down. Doesn't hurt the ladder, though. That allows Fly to pick off 1. he won't be able to do too much more as he drops down right into the crosshair of Truth and falls. And there we go. Zoctai picking himself up a third round. Elements Pro Gaming back onto the eco once again. We may see them putting a small investment in as they will get $2,900 because of the money bonus, but they won't really be able to invest too much. So this should be a fairly easy round now for Zoctai, but then again, we can't underestimate these weapons. Those Deagles, those P250s, they can be extremely dangerous. Hooch and Fly. Let's see what they'll be able to get done with them Desert Eagles at the longer range. And it's not a great start. Hooch will fall, and so will Fly. In the process, Increw also falls. That's one of the P250s dropped, and now Flash and Alien. 2 versus 5. They probably won't be able to get too much done to this round now. Any kills they get will be a bit of a bonus, but no, they won't be able to get anything done. Only 22 damage comes in onto Truth. I'll go ahead and throw the first promo code in for 1xbet once we hit 200 viewers actually. So anyway, EPG going to be back onto the buy. Alien actually going to be the one that picks up the AWP. We saw he didn't really invest in the previous round, just kept the Glock, and this time they're working with a lot more utility, so they'll have a lot more options of what they want to do. And right now it looks like they're going to send a couple of players above B. It is just going to be a default. Holding to wait and see if the CT is overextend and give away a pick to them. Here we go, they've taken control of the upper B halls. The upper that was on the lower ramp is going to get flashed off. Gets spammed a small amount, but he doesn't really lose too much HP. As you can see, EPG, they are just playing this fairly slow. Just hoping that the CTs will make a mistake and push into their crosshairs. But right now, Zoctai themselves not playing it too aggressively. Decent nade actually coming in there. Going to be able to attack 2 of those players in A main up a fair amount. Ratifaction. Nice find onto Hooch towards Ivy. And now, once again, Zoctai, they're going to be able to take the lead early on into this round. 5 versus 4, a minute left on the clock, and EPG, they look to be just going back up through the B halls and looking to group up. We may see another attempted B hit coming in. As we can see, Hall, Zerk and Truth, they're going to be over this side of the map. The op playing from the back lines, being able to support his teammate. It is indeed going to be a B hit. Hall, Zerk, though, he's very open in this position. This could be dangerous if multiple terrorists burst out on top of him. He will have to hit this shot. If not, it could get quite dangerous, and he doesn't hit it. Does somehow fall back off of the coils though, so he stays alive for a little bit longer. And now Truth, he's going to be the man we look towards. Gets the spray down only onto 1, but he causes a lot of damage onto the second. And in the process, the opposite CT side is going to come out victorious against Fly. And now it's all onto Increw. 1 versus 4. Not looking so good for EPG. There we go. 5-0 lead for Zoctai. Starting it off very strong. You have to remember though, EPG, no way are they out of this game. When we look at Hooch, we see a very experienced in-game leader who even in-game led for the Gambit lineup before they acquired Zeus from Navi. Well, rather, not from Navi, but when he was dropped, I believe he was on the contract at the time they acquired him. So, here we go, a good start once again by the Norwegian side. Fly going to try and run out of A main and get the time in, but it's not going to work out. He gets taken down, and now Mathias is looking to just barge up Ivy with his Tech 9s, trying to get up close, close the distance, and they will actually be quite successful at the start. Hooch gets himself 1, but all of the frags coming back in favour of the CT side. Zoctai, absolute decimation. And we will see another buy once again coming in for EPG, and they really need to start getting themselves some rounds onto the board. The money for Zoctai, it's not so bad either. They've built themselves up a decent bank into the reserve. I'm going to go ahead and throw 1 promo code into the chat for 1xbet, so get ready. I'll throw it in a couple of seconds, but anyway, here we go now. Once again, in our default coming in. This time they're going to be putting a bit more focus towards Ivy. This is where the op will be positioned this time. Ratifaction, he may peek right out into it, and he will indeed. Not expecting it. A little bit of a swap up there by EPG. Allows them to take the opening pick eventually. That's the first time they've done so successfully, I believe. But now Rosie towards Pop Dog. 2 kills handed to him for free, coming down the ladder. And it's back in favour of the Norwegian side. Zoctai, a bit happy there. They've just been gifted. It's basically Christmas early. Christmas just about 5 months early that was, and now Halzer finding himself another. Hooch falls, and it's just all falling apart for EPG. Started off well, and all of the frags. 5 in a row then for Zoctai, and there we go, 7-0 lead. EPG. When do we see the tactical pause is the question. There we go, I put a code into the chat. Don't forget to go ahead and check that out. Anyway, EPG, they are going to continue to buy up. They didn't get the plant, so they didn't get the extra $800 into the bank, but either way, they can get a decent buy. They lack the utility. A couple of players lacking the head armor, rather just Alien. And this time, the T is, once again, going to be just sending a lot of players over towards B. They tried to sell an early on fake, and Hooch is going to be the one that tries to commit to this, but the Molotov, it will block him off for a small while. And we still have a really strong setup on B from the CT side. Truth and Halls are going to be able to take one each, and it's fallen apart once again for EPG. Hooch on the lurk though does successfully find one frag, and eventually they find an entry onto the B site. That's going to be Flash. Halzerk with the CZ though, going full Rambo, takes down Flash, and he has the support of a teammate. Alien falls all onto Hooch now. 1 versus 3 for the in-game leader. Will he be able to do so successfully? But doesn't even get the start there. Halzerk with the op drops him, and Zoctai halfway there already. 8 rounds in a row. 2-0 of EPG, we must say. And now, EPG, because they didn't get a plant once again, just stuck onto the Tech 9s. Alien, he won't buy anything at all. He's going to be opping, so instead just gets the P250. In-crew actually finds a successful frag onto Rosie. So going down the ladder this time does work out for him. And that's not a bad start now for EPG. The best we've seen in a while, but ZTK trading them back with the AK. Gets himself a triple. Does have the support of Ratifaction, and now, eventually Flash drops him. But there's plenty more CTs remaining. But as I say that, the numbers, they're diminishing. Flash is able to pick himself another headshot onto Truth. Ratifaction closes it with a second kill for himself, and there we go. Zoctai 9-0. Probably the closest round we've seen by elements in quite a while though. That was working with very small amount of firepower. Here we go now, the buy once again, full buy this time, a lot of utility, everything they need basically, and this is when EPG, they really need to start building themselves up a decent half. 9 rounds already to Zoctai, they have more than one of this half. Even if they lost all 6 after this, it'd still be a decent half, but of course they wouldn't be too happy with it, but still, it would still be a decent half no matter what. So EPG, they really need to get their jogging shoes on and get ready for this marathon that's upcoming if they want to make their way into this game now. Once again though, just going to be the default. Hooch towards Ivy, just spamming out, selling some presents, and it seems like the rest of the terrorists just going to be gathered up above B, and Rosie just takes the head off of in-crew. By the way, well, we have a bit of a stalemate here. The players looking to make their way down B, but I was going to say, if anyone has any feedback or criticism on my casting, don't be afraid to give me any. I'm not afraid to be criticised. It's the only way to improve. So, as we can see now, the 4 remaining players for EPG, they do look to try and execute out onto this B site. The cock of that smoke, though, it may have been heard. So, Rosie, now he knows these terrorists are oncoming. He has a strong position. The flash goes in. He gets himself the first kill. Gets the second. He loses one teammate in the process, but the trades, they do still come out in favour of Zoctai. They have a 3-2. But it is going to be back to an even situation and actually back in advantage of the EPG side for the first time, I believe, as Halzerk is going to fall. So now it's all on the Ratifaction. He's been playing a pretty strong game so far, but will he be able to clutch it out 1 versus 2 is the question. His position isn't known, but now he has been spotted by Hooch. So this is when it gets a small bit harder for him to try and clutch it out. Ratifaction though going to be creeping his way up into the site. If he finds Alien, this could be dangerous, and he does indeed. Hooch now. 1 versus 1, the Molotov used onto the lower ramp though. Unluckily for Ratifaction, he's going to be making his way towards upper, and he will just tap the bomb. Tech 9 in hand, he may potentially find this frag. Does a lot of damage, but now he may just go ahead and try to stick it. Hooch, will he peek is the question. He's sticking the bomb. No, Hooch finds the frag. Through the corner of the smoke, luckily enough. So there we go. Finally, the first round comes in for EPG, and the only problem is they only live with 1 player, so their economy not going to be very strong. If they lose this round, they'll be completely reset, and I don't even think they'll have a great buy into this one. It'll be a lot weaker than the previous one. They won't have the op, they won't have all the utility, they won't have an abundance of it. They'll just have about enough to scrape by. And as we mentioned, Zoctai, because of all the rounds they got in a row, they have built themselves up a very strong economy. Even if they lose this, they'll be able to buy for 1 or 2 more perhaps. Decent nade, they're coming in. Hooch brought down to 50 before he even sees anyone. Getting spammed down, Ratifaction gets the kill. Truth pushing up the lower B ramp, picks up a headshot. And Halzerk is there to support him and take down in-crew. The CTs though, they will continue pushing aggressive into A main. That allows the T's to pick up 1. That's Flash who finds it, but he's going to lose his teammate in the process. So now he's all alone, making his way onto A, and CT's all over the place, holding every single angle on him. He should eventually be falling here. There we go. Ratifaction closes the round, and that's the economy completely reset for EPG. Let's have a look. Yep, 3 players within the 1000s. Hooch, he's looking the richest, and even then he can't afford himself a rifle at all. We better go ahead and start giving away more codes in a minute. I can't really tab out to get the code, that's the only problem. So when we have an eco or something, I'll tab out, get a code, and give away another. Halzer, though, he's going to be picking himself up some eco frags. Nice leg on the fly. Hits him out of mid-air. There we go. Takes out the P250 now. Finishes off another while completely flashed. Gets himself the fort. He may be denied the ace, though, as Hooch may be able to find this frag towards A main, actually. So let's go ahead and see if Halzer will be able to pick himself up a nice little ace against the eco round. Of course, it only is, but well. Hooch, we can see him just kind of running away through the halls. They did fully invest into this round, we have to remember, so they will probably be either, well, they could eco in the next round, but at this point they really need to start getting some rounds on the board. It's really slipping out of control now. Zoctai, they have really all control in this game. Halzer picking himself up the ace. There we go. Nice little ace by the Norwegian player, picking up multiple frags well flashed and through the smoke. And now full eco coming in for EPG. Only Glocks to work with. 1 P250 upgraded onto Hooch. He had a bit of extra money left over in the bank, and it looks like they're just going to be making their way fast towards B. Perhaps actually down the pop dog indeed. The P250 getting up close. Rosie is going to be here to contest these players, and he has the support of Halzer once again with the op. And once again this round looking like complete decimation. This may be one of the fastest games I've ever casted. If Zoctai are able to close this so fast, to be honest, this really has just been very one-sided. Like, it hasn't even been many slow rounds. We've seen EPG trying to go fast a lot, and now they are just going to burst out into B, and the spray down for Truth gets himself a double. Closes out. Here we go. Alright, I'll tab out after this round, go ahead and get another code, give it away, and then if the game ends, I'll give away a code at halftime then also, and then I'll give away a code during the pistol or after the game, depending on who wins it. Because this game doesn't look like it's going to last too much longer, I must say. But now, fast speed coming in by the T-side. Ratifaction going to be on the op. We've seen him on the rifle previously, and picks the headshot up on the in-crew. Gets himself a second, the 5-7 in hand. Gets himself a third, and we may see another ace coming in, this time by a different player. Only one more from the find, and once again, it is Hooch. Last man standing. He has the AK in hand. He's out on the A site, but Rosie, he will go ahead and deny it. Ratifaction, great hold onto the B site though, and we really are just seeing Zoctai completely outclassing EPG. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and tab out and grab a code. This screen will look frozen for a second, but I'm going to use all the promo code. We're tabbing back in now. We should go ahead and... There we go. We didn't miss anything. I'll put it into chat in a second once my Steam browser decides to work. But anyway, it is going to be the force buy once again from EPG. Of course, it is the last round of the half. 2 Galils, a Scout, and 2 Tech 9s. That's all they have to work with. And considering what we've seen them working with in the past and not being able to get anything done, it's not looking so hopeful. But Hoochie's going to go ahead and steal those words right out of my mouth and prove me wrong. And now it's the T side taking a couple of man in their favour, but Ratifaction will be able to find one back. He pushes through the smoke. Hooch finds him, and EPG, we could potentially see them picking up a second round as Eliam with a Scout actually comes out on top of it. It's all on to Truth now. 1 versus 4. There's another 1x bet code put away, and there we go. Hooch finishes it off. EPG at least find themselves the second round. Rosie writing haha. I'm not sure what happened. Alright, let me go ahead and tab out because my thing is... Oh yeah, let me tab out and get another code actually. I'll go ahead and give away another one fast. Screw it. Subject. What the fuck is that? It's a 1x bet promo code just for like free money on the betting website. Go ahead and throw that in. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and deny that message to the dude who said effing unts. There we go. There's another code also. Anyway, live into the pistol round now. There's going to be Flash that picks up the kit for the CT side, and they really need this round if they want to give themselves a chance for the comeback. And as we can see, Zoctai, they're confident, just going to go with the full set of Kevlar, looking to try and power their way onto the B site. And as we can see, they're going to be making their way down the lower ramp. Hooch in a good position to try and pick them off slowly, but he connects the damage, but he's not going to be able to collect any frags in the process. And now Increw getting dinked up. He is somehow staying alive, and now Hooch is also chiming in with the frags. This isn't looking so bad for EPG, but as I said, at Rosie with a great headshot. ZTK finally finishing off Increw. And now the T's with their aggressive after plans. The CTs, they're looking to come in and retake. It's all onto Truth. 1 versus 2, has the USP in hand, and the CTs, they do still have a kiss, so the time, it's not too big of a fact. They should be just playing this together. Truth finds the first headshot. One more to find. Hooch, all alone. Needs to win this if he wants his team to give his team a chance to come back into this game, and now Truth running away. Actually, Hooch is going to go ahead and stick it, but Truth, he read it. And he's just going to be able to slowly chip the HP away, and this is completely spiral out of control for EPG. Truth needs to connect one bullet. All he needs will get the knife. There we go. Zoctai going to go ahead and pick up the second pistol round, and that may just be the game. You use the codes on 1xbet. They're a promo code. Go ahead and put them in. Get yourself a small bit of money free to go ahead and bet. There's another code. We'll throw in the fourth one because this game doesn't look like it's going to last so much longer. EPG, of course, going to go for the force buy. They want to try and bring themselves back into this game, and to do so, they need to win this round. Hooch is going to be able to pick up the first frag successfully, but ZTK is in a position to go ahead and trade it. And now the T is just barreling their way out into the A site. They have the range advantage with these weapons. Increw on the flank gets one with the CZ, but he's lost all his teammates in the process. It's all onto Flash now. 5-7 in hand. Picks up the first. So he's not out of this round now. As we can see, Rosie roughly half HP and slowly going to be decreasing. There we go. He finds himself a second. Doesn't find the frag onto Truth though. Zoctai, they will just about clench that round, and they will be able to clench match point in the process. And EPG now. Last chance. They're on the back foot. They need to win this round if they want to keep themselves alive into this map. But once again, this is a best of 1 obviously only, so they need to go ahead and try and bring themselves back in. There's no next map to think about. This is the game, and this is when they need to start trying to get themselves a comeback. As we can see now, the T is working with 2 MAC-10s, a UMP and 2 rifles, and it looks to be just a fast A split once again. Hooch from the connector with an M4 going to be able to take down 1, but actually Alien and Flash also chime in, and just a complete cleanup there by EPG. By far the cleanest round we've seen them having the entire game. The previous 2 they won, I believe, they only lived with 1 player, so giving themselves a small chance to come back into it. Zoctai, it looks like they are going to go ahead and force buy it up themselves. As we can see, they would have been double eco. They can afford the AK onto ZTK. It's not a terrible buy by any means. Rosie, he hasn't invested into Kevlar, so I presume we'll see him on the op later on, or perhaps just dropping it over to a teammate. Alright, Calvin K, 95, I'm going to be holding you to your word. We better see a video on YouTube if EPG win this. So now I'm rooting for EPG because I want that to happen. So come on, EPG. Davai. Anyway, a fairly slow round, but it is right now just going to be holding to wait and see if EPG get aggressive at all. There we go, Halzerk is going to go ahead and try and peek out and get 1 kill. It won't work out in his advantage. He gets a lot of damage onto Flash, but it's not the kill. Leaves him on 13 HP. He started with 100, of course, so that E7 damage he was able to connect. It wasn't enough. There we go, Alien going to be able to pick up 1 more towards Ivy. Truth falls, and this should be a fairly easy round for EPG. And this really can start trying to build themselves up some confidence just against the weaker bot players, rather, Zoctai. Try and build themselves up some momentum. Oh, sorry, swapped the third person by accident. I fat-fingered the keyboard and I went ahead and hit the spacebar. Ratifaction all on his own. Nice shot on the fly. Through the corner of the wall, going to be able to take him down. Vac! Free fire. He knew that player would be there. That's a fairly standard spot. Just going ahead and mess him with it. Ratifaction. Any damage he can get done here, he'd be fairly happy with. Peeks out with the M4. Not going to be able to connect the shots on the Hooch. So there we go. It will be another round for EPG. Here we go now. Another eco for the T side. Walking straight onto A. Elian gets himself a collateral. Trying to clean this round up as fast as possible. Fly with the M4, spraying them down. Gets himself the first headshot. Gets himself a second kill. And it is going to be the hat-trick for Elian as he finishes one off with the CZ. And there we go. Elements Pro Gaming. They get themselves 5 rounds to the 15 of Zoctai. So 10 more in a row to force overtime. It's not going to be easy and with Zoctai buying up now. That's when they can start to build themselves up some proper momentum. Taking this first gun round at a half. Well, not first, but rather second. It's the first real full buy round because we've seen them on the other rounds kind of having a bit of a weak buy. They kept those SMGs, etc. Anyway, now it is going to be Zoctai just holding a default once again, sending a couple of players towards Ivy, similar to what we saw from Elements Pro Gaming. The nade from Flash, though, doesn't connect as much damage as I thought, just does roughly 11 to Hall Zerk. And now it is going to be ZTK looking for a frag onto A. He's confident in his aim because of the battles they've been winning in this game, and he's going to be able to find one successfully. He finds Fly, Hooch gets traded, and another trade comes in, but this actually does work out in favour of Zoctai. A 3 versus 3 does tend to favour the terrorist side as the CTs. They are forced to split up their defence and leave holes in it, and this allows the positions to be exploited, but no, Flash actually going to be able to find one trying to creep his way up Ivy. That wasn't one of those holes. That position was definitely covered by the faction taking in crew down now. Because it's only Flash and Elian that remain, but over on the T side it's only Truth. Will he be able to show up and clutch at 1 versus 2? He knows the positions of both players. He spotted the one on top of the ladder. Flash, you need to be careful. Doesn't want to give away this frag. Could be very dangerous if he brings it down to 1 versus 1. They need to play this together. We have to remember they can't afford to make any mistakes. It is already match point, and Truth now behind the E-box will be able to spot out the Opera, but he doesn't actually connect the frag. That was his chance, and now he's escaping his way into Pop Dog. He will lose quite a lot of his HP. And he actually is going to go ahead and try and mind game them, make his way back to A, and that actually did force one player to rotate off. Doesn't spot the player at stop sign though. Flash successfully, we're going to be able to get the 6th round for EPG, and it was a pretty strong hold for him towards Ivy with that FAMAS. Saw him taking on the Opper and then turning around and taking the player as he came out of Pop Dog. And of course he did also close the round.
Disconnected.
Sorry, my TeamSpeak was open, I didn't realize. Nice find there by Elian, going to be able to take down ZTK. I forgot my TeamSpeak was open on my second monitor. Sorry, I had to close it. Hooch going to be able to take down a double, and finally Element's going to be able to get himself a couple of rounds in a row. Well, not a couple of rounds in a row, but like a very strong round coming in with his ops, and never mind, Rosie going to be able to do more damage. The economy for EPG, it's decent, but it's not amazing by any means. They will be able to build it up a bit more after this round as long as they don't drop too many more weapons. Rosie has the op in hand though, so he's going to be looking to try and cause as much damage as possible. His hopes probably aren't too high for winning the round, but because they have so many rounds to work with, if they can just keep causing damage to the economy slowly, yeah, surely they will be able to force Elements Pro Gaming to work with a little bit of a weaker buy and try and make it a bit easier for themselves. Fly on the flank though should be able to close this round out easy enough, and there we go. We'll also retrieve the secondary up. And here we go now, the buy going to be coming in once again for Zoctai. They have the full money bonus now. They have the 5 rifles, plenty of utility to work with, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and swap up the pace fast towards speed. And nade causing so much damage early on. The smoke to block off the vision. The trade, luckily enough, does come in for the T side, and that's going to work out in their advantage. But when we have a look at the HP, it's not so healthy. One player going to be tagged down. He gets finished off by Fly. Nice shot from Hooch. The IGL going to be using the op now. We have a mini fallen here. And now it's all down to Ratifaction and ZTK. Nice find from Ratifaction, actually catches Fly on the flank, but he's lost a lot of HP in the process. And now ZTK, 1 versus 3. His hopes into this round, they aren't so high, and the op is going to finish it off. Hooch, he's been putting in some nice work in these last couple of rounds. Definitely stepped it up from the T side. Now, only 7 rounds to go for Elements to go ahead and force themselves overtime. It sounds like a big number, but they won't all be buys either. They will be buying once again this time though, because they get the plant, so the extra $800 on top of the $3,400 for the money bonus that they get for losing 5 rounds in a row. And Halzerk, he will be on the off, but it's not going to have the Kevlar or a lot of utility to work with. Zoctai gonna be swapping it up once again. This time sending 3 players towards Ivy to try and work some picks. Leaving 1 player holding B passively and 1 in the B halls watching for the pop dog push in case the CT tries to get aggressive. Flash, he's going to be picking on Ivy. Luckily enough, the smoke there currently to block this off, but the nade goes in. Not really too much damage, nothing too substantial is going to be connected. But he needs to be careful once this boost comes in over the server. It could be dangerous, actually spots the player out himself and he gets the frag. The T is now down by 1 man and Radifaction actually taking a dink through the smoke there. So, EPG looking like a very solid team on this CT side. Complete opposite to what we saw in the previous half. Looking a lot more coordinated in terms of teamwork and especially just hitting their shots a lot better. That's something that we have to say they really were lacking over on their T side. Now Zoctai playing a slow. 50 seconds left on the clock. Radifaction has gone ahead and picked up the AWP for himself. Now, they look to try and execute onto the A site. It seems the nade goes in. Does a small bit of damage onto ZTK, and there is a really strong setup currently on this A side of the map. All of the CT is over here. They seem to have the info that no one's on B. It is going to be the frag coming back in favour of Zoctai, and now it's all down to Elian. He's wondering what just happened. It's completely fell apart. He's 1 versus 2 to try and clutch it out and save his team. Keep them in this game. CZ in hand on the up and walk straight out into the crosshair. Rosie, he will fall, and there we go. Zoctai, they will be your winners of this map. They're going to be able to pick it up 16-8, and I believe that's the last game of the night. So I'd like to just thank everyone for watching. If you liked my casting, go ahead and follow me. You can find my Twitter link in the title at Dean_casts, and I'll hopefully return to cast more games in the future. So thank you for everyone watching.